Okay, before we go to the next slide, Bill Keller, I've seen you on. Will you wave your hand? There's Bill. Hello, Bill. We're so happy to have Bill with us today. We've actually pre-recorded, or he pre-recorded his message as well. He's been, I hope this is okay to say this, Bill, but he's been going through a pretty hard thing this week. We weren't expecting him on the call today, but we're so glad that he's here. But we've recorded his message, or he has, and so we are going to show that. Let me introduce him with slides first, though. Okay, so I'm going to reintroduce Bill Keller. Bill has been with us for several years. Bill's a YouTuber. We love Bill. He's been on our advisory board for a handful of years and brings great insight to the business. There are a couple things I love about Bill. One is that he's a musician. He knows several instruments, and the other is that he loves long distance bicycle tours. And so that's a little bit about Bill, but here's the quote from Bill. I love Thrive Life because it is delicious and nutritious, and it has changed our lives forever when I was able to quit driving a truck 3 years ago. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is Bill Keller.
Well, hey, everybody. I was very excited to be here with you all today. I love this. I love being able to see everybody and be involved with everybody. But then at the last minute, I had a family emergency and I wasn't able to make it live. So I have pre-recorded this for you, and I'm just sorry that I can't be here with you live today. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever spent some time writing a post about one of the Thrive products, and you post it on Facebook and you're all excited about it, and you get back, well, absolutely nothing, crickets, no response. So you pick a different Thrive product and you write a post about that one and you put it up, same thing, no response. It can be so discouraging, right? So then you do that for a while and you start to think, well, maybe Thrive just isn't the one for me. Maybe it's not a good product for me to sell. So then you start to look around for another company with a different product. And I think that is how people who end up going from one company to another and never have any success. Ask me how I know this. I went through 4 different companies before I found Thrive. And here's what I discovered. It's not about the product. It's about how you sell it. If you sell it properly, you can sell anything. If you sell it properly, you can sell ice cubes to a Canadian in January. Right, Tracy? It's not about the product. It's about how you present the product. So the typical way for a consultant to approach a sales pitch is to say something like, hey, I found this great new product. It's called Thrive Life freeze-dried food delivered right to your door. It's all pre-washed and pre-diced so that it saves you time in the kitchen, and then they go on. The problem is, as soon as you say, hey, I found this great new product, it's called, they cut you off. They'll just keep scrolling from that point on. They're just not interested in being sold to, and when you start that way, you are selling to them, and people don't like that. So what I want to talk about today is how to make a more effective sales pitch. And in order to do that, don't pitch. Wait, what? Don't pitch. It's not about your product. It's not about Thrive Life. Don't mention Thrive Life by name, especially at the beginning. But wait, I'm trying to sell Thrive Life. What do you mean it's not about Thrive Life? Well, it's not. It's about what Thrive Life can do for them. It's about how you or Thrive Life can solve their problem. That's what they care about. Initially, they don't care about Thrive Life. They don't care about your product. They care about what problem it can solve. So don't mention Thrive by name at the beginning. Don't lead with the product. You need to lead with value. Products have benefits and they can solve solutions, and you want to lead with the benefit or the solution, not the product or the features of the product. And you need to engage your prospects. You only have about 7 seconds to draw them in. If you don't grab their attention within the first 7 seconds, they're just going to continue to scroll right by. Use a headline that pulls on their emotion and makes them immediately identify with what you are saying. And you talk about the benefits, not the features of your product. So we can do this in something called the PAS sales formula: problem, agitation, and solution. This is very effective sales formula, and if you learn it, if you use it, you're going to see a real increase in your sales. So, present the problem. Keep it short and powerful. The problem should be just 1 or 2 sentences, and you draw them in by telling a story. And you can do this by starting with something like, have you ever, or imagine this. And you put them in the story, and you do everything you can to elicit an emotional response that puts them in the story and keeps them engaged. Do you remember how I started this presentation? First thing I said was, have you ever written a post on Facebook that got no results? I'm asking you a question, I'm presenting the problem, I'm putting you in the story. Hopefully, if you've ever experienced anything like that, you have an emotional response to it. And then, after you present the problem, you agitate the problem. What does this mean? You paint a bleak picture. You accentuate all of the negatives of the problem. You go a lot deeper into the problem. And there should be no break between presenting the problem and agitating. It should just be a smooth transition. And you would talk about what will happen if you don't fix the problem. You paint as bleak as picture as possible. And you always strive to elicit an emotional response. And then you present the solution. I discovered this, and this is how my life has changed. You're still telling it in story form. You share about your discovery in vague terms, and then you describe the positive impact on your life. Now, this is one of the points that most people have a difficult time understanding. You still have not mentioned Thrive Life. You're still talking about it in vague terms, but you're talking about how great your life is now, what my life looks like now with the problem solved. So then, after you've presented the problem, and you've agitated the problem, and you've presented the solution, then there's 2 things you can do. You can either mention Thrive Life. All of this was possible for me because of a product called Thrive Life. Or you can use a call to action, and you would say, if you would like to learn more, message me and I'll tell you about this product and how great it is. But even in your call to action, you don't want to say, if you would like to learn more, because if you do, that's a suggestion. If you would like to learn more, puts in their mind the possibility that maybe they don't want to learn more. So you never suggest, you always tell them what to do. To learn more, email me, whatever, to learn more. And many consultants will give many options of how they can contact you. To learn more, you can go to my website, you can email me, you can call me, you can send me a personal message, you can contact me on WhatsApp. You don't want to do that. This creates mind overload and it creates confusion. And a confused mind turns away without taking action. So you want to limit the amount of options that you give them. Give them 1 or 2 options. Keep it simple. To learn more, visit my website. Or to learn more, visit my website and you can email me if you have any questions. Or to learn more, I would love to talk to you. Give me a call or an email and we'll chat. So, the PAS formula: problem, agitation, solution, call to action. So what does this look like for a Thrive Life product? First, we need to look at all the features of our products and discover what the benefits are to those features, and then you pick a benefit that you're going to talk about. So let's talk about one of the features. Everything is pre-washed and pre-chopped, right? So what is the benefit of that? It cuts down the amount of time it takes to prepare a meal. Sometimes you can cut the time in half. So that's the benefit that we're going to talk about. The feature is it's pre-cut, pre-chopped, pre-cleaned. The benefit is saves time in the kitchen. So when we present the problem, we want to ask them a question, and then we want to draw them in, and we want to do it in story form. So you could say something like, have you ever been in a situation where you've got to get your two daughters to their dance class in the evening, and you get delayed on the way home from work because of traffic, and you get home and you just simply don't have enough time to present them, to cook a meal for them? So what do? You stop at McDonald's on the way to dance class. Okay, that's the problem that I presented. And then I'm going to agitate the problem. I'm going to look at all the negatives. So what does that mean? When you stop at McDonald's, it can cost quite a bit of money depending on your size of your family. It could easily cost $30 or even $40 for a McDonald's. Was a meal costs about $10 now. That's expensive, and if you do that a couple times a week, that'll break the budget. Also, McDonald's is considerably less nutritious. We all know that. It's much better if you can have a home-cooked meal. So there, I have agitated the problem. Didn't take long, just a few sentences. And then I present the solution, and I'm going to tell how it works for me. So I have found a solution to this, and it works really well for me. It allows me to cook faster meals. I can actually cook meal in about half the time, and I can get good, nutritious meals instead of stopping at McDonald's all the time. And it allows our family to eat well and still get to my meeting in the evening on time with the kids in tow. So there I've presented the solution. And you see that doesn't take long to go through the problem, the agitation, and the solution. And then the call to action, whatever you decide. You can, like I said, after you present all of that, you can say, and the answer is Thrive Life freeze-dried foods. Or you can say, if you want to find out how I do this, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you about it. So there you go, the PAS sales formula. I hope that's helpful. If you do that, I think you're really going to get much more engagement with your posts. By the way, you can do this with anything, like I said, with posts or Facebook Lives or videos or blogs. You can also do this in person. If you keep this formula in mind and you learn it, then when you're talking to somebody in person, instead of just hitting them right away with the product, ask them some questions, present a problem to them. After you know what you talk to them for a while, you find out what problems they're solving or they're facing, then you can use this system to talk about the problem, agitate the problem, and then give a solution. And it works really well. All right, guys, be blessed.
Bill, awesome as always. Man, I think I saw, was it Amit's comment that said that was an MBA in 10 minutes? And that's exactly what that was. And Jason, I saw your comment that Bill is an expert at this. He's a good one to listen to. He's our top enroller pretty consistently. He's in the top 5 every month anyway. So thank you, Bill. Great job.